My name is William Adams. I am a Kentish man, born in a town called Gillingham. In June 1598, I was hired as chief captain of a fleet of 5 ships, bound towards the Far East. If we survived the voyage, for those before us had not, we would be the first merchant adventurers to reach Japan. Onwards to gold and glory! The way was hard. Our trials were many. Great storms beset us when we came into the South Sea, and our fleet was scattered. We found ourselves alone. Should we turn back? Our supplies were spent, but we would make no profit if we quit now. So onwards we pressed until mercy! That's the sweetest sight! Land? Japan! Too weak to resist, we were boarded. As the only one of us fit enough to stand, I was taken ashore, there to become the first Englishman to set foot on Japan. As I was taken from the ship, my crewmates had cautioned me to be careful and to keep my eye upon the big picture. But I had more immediate problems. Well met. My name is William
Silence! This man is a barbarian. He must be executed. No! Ieyasu-san alone will decide their fate.
I was taken to a golden castle to meet their leader, Ieyasu. I was certain he would see the opportunities our unannounced arrival heralded. My lord, we have many goods unavailable hereabouts. Please, tell your king. We desire only friendship, and have much to offer you. Ha! They boldly proclaim they are pirates, here to plunder. Ieyasu demanded to know why we had come to Japan. His advisor spoke Portuguese, a common tongue, and translated for us. But I suspected that he did not convey the intent of my words. My interrogation continued until midnight. It was thorough and spoke of a deep wariness towards outsiders. Fearing I might ensnare myself, I was guarded with my responses. Why do you carry weapons? By what route did you come? Who does England make war with? Despite everything, I had thought Ieyasu pleased by the audience. But my reading of the man proved false. I was confined to prison, with only my thoughts and the lice for company. I feared death every day. Oh, Mary, my beloved wife, I am so sorry. I should never have left for this fool's quest. But every day I copied their Japanese through my cell window and listened as they spoke. I began to understand their language. I was questioned yet further, and this revealed more of the Japanese tongue to me. I heard phrases repeated to me in Portuguese, a language that I knew fairly well. I was summoned again. Dutch merchants had come from a trading base in the East Indies. As I also spoke Dutch, I was called upon to mediate. Lord Ieyasu, they say, if you license them, they will bring you more beautiful goods. My rapid grasp of Japanese astounded the coup's surroundings, and thus, with my help, a trade alliance with Holland was struck. Ieyasu was pleased and freed me at long last. But despite this service, he would not grant us permission to leave Japan. Ieyasu gifted me fresh clothes in the local manner. I was now free to sell our cargo so we might pay for repairs to our ship. But no, for if your clothes are good, Anjin-san, then why not wear it yourself? Ah. Anjin-san, the honorable captain. That was what all the Japanese call me now. The locals won't trade with us. Our ship rots at anchor, and yet you strut around dressed like one of his lapdogs. Do you have some scheme in play? No, I tell you, I know not why he keeps us here. I and my crew parted on ill terms. It was then that I learned that as we battled, so did Ieyasu. He won a great victory, which made him shogun of all Japan. Maybe, with his ambitions achieved, he would have no need to detain us further. It did not matter, however. Our ship succumbed to its neglect. Any hope of our escape was swallowed by the deep. I cursed myself. Maybe if I had not been so focused on making gold, and had been generous in other ways, I might not have trapped us all here on the far side of the world. I need a plan. But what do I offer to a man who has everything? Then, inspiration struck me. At the age of 12, I was apprenticed to a master shipwright. If I could build a ship, yes, I was certain Ieyasu would value an ocean-going ship to enable his people to venture beyond the horizon. Maybe we could even use it to get us home. But I would need my shipmates, so I made peace with them and told the crew of my plan. They thought it mad, but I was convinced it was our only real hope. The shogun supplied us with everything, and we threw ourselves into the task. It will not get built any quicker by you staring over my shoulder. Many hard months later, the task was done, and we looked forward to the reward we were certain we had earned. But the shogun demanded we build him another larger ship to forge the genesis of a Japanese navy. And so we did. Yet still the shogun refused my plea to let us leave. They are excellent, but I would like to know more of the world beyond the seas. Yes, of course, Shogun. So I became his advisor and was called regularly to court. Here I taught the shogun mathematics and geometry, translating for him when needed. He rewarded me well with lands and a fine manor house. The tide was turning. There were English ships in the bay. How did they get here? Had they found an easier route than us? The shogun bid me to greet them. My countrymen looked strange to me after all this time, as I was certain I did to them. It's that William Adams. He's gone native. The shogun bids you welcome. You must come with me. As we travelled to the shogun's court, I learned that the English had established a trading base in the East Indies as well, where they had heard tell of me from the Dutch merchants. I made their case for trading rights. They desire friendship and offer much, and the sooner you make a deal, the sooner the barbarians will leave. I hope he's putting in a good word. He granted them free license to abide, buy, sell, and barter for their East India Company of merchants. Both parties were very happy. So once more, I seized the opportunity to ask for permission to leave Japan. But before I could speak, "You have been here a long time, Anjin-san. I have a gift for you." "A sword? A samurai sword?" "I honor you with the rank
Hamamoto, we will remember you. You are free to leave my lands, William Adams.
Hello, William. We'll make space for you in the hold.
The merchants were determined to return to England with all haste, and asked if I intended to sail with them. I did not relish the prospect of so hazardous a voyage again, but my long-awaited dream was finally within my grasp. I had but to pack up my belongings. But it was then, in my moment of triumph, that realization hit me. I had spent 13 years in Japan. I was favored and respected. I had reached a position in society beyond all imagining. I now had property, land, 80 servants at my disposal. But I could not take any of it back home. It was the shogun's gift, and not mine to sell. I have nothing to say.
You short-sighted fool!
If I left Japan now, I'd be as penniless as the day I arrived. I was trapped in a gilded cage. Had this been the shogun's plan all along? Or, worse yet, had I done this to myself? I will never know, for Ieyasu did not summon me after that day, and within the year he was dead, taken in the night by a mysterious illness. And I too will be buried here if I do not find that elusive path to gold and glory. William Adams never returned to England. He had many more adventures, but remained in Japan until his death in 1620, aged 55. He is acknowledged as one of the most important founding figures in our relations with the Far East, but he remains better known in Japan than in the place where he was born. Just 1 mile east of this spot, in the little fishing village that would become Gillingham. Bus arrived before you could read it all? Take home a free printed pamphlet containing the full story from Gillingham Library. Written and illustrated by Mark Barnes. Like William Adams, Mark was born in Gillingham and has met with and created many adventures during his career as a freelance illustrator and graphic designer. He works from his studio in Rochester, encircled by a mighty curtain wall of picture books, pulp novels, and comics. Final comment. A friend of mine, who lives in Medway, reported to me, at the bus stop of St. Mark's Church, there's a set of 5 boards about the life of Adams, or Anjin. From a historical point of view, there are many mistakes about this cartoon. However, I believe that these are not simple mistakes, but are created by Mr. Barnes as a storyteller, and, unlike history books, they are not meant to be pointed out one by one. On the premise that it is not historically accurate, we should regard this work as one of the stories that tells the life of Adams in his hometown of Gillingham, now Medway. Regards, Koichi Fujita and Ethan Bond.